This week, we've seen another emergency update from Apple, iOS 15.0.2, which fixed a vulnerability that was already being exploited in the wild. This is one of many, many security updates from Apple this year, more than ever. So what's the reason for this?
Yeah, what is the reason for this? It's a good question, isn't it? Is it purely that Apple's attack surface is growing because it's getting more users? It's stealing market share from Android now. People are looking at Apple devices more, and that means attackers as well as users are looking at Apple devices more. Is this the reason, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Apple's platform is growing, so that's the first thing. It isn't anywhere near as big as Android, but the platform's growing itself. But people are starting to look for vulnerabilities in Apple products. It's really ramped up. There are good bug bounties on offer for security researchers that find holes in Apple products, and they are finding them. So I guess that's one reason for it. Doesn't necessarily mean the platform is less secure. It means more's being found. So that is a good thing in itself.
I mean, it's all about the scale of the platform, right? The bigger and more complicated the platform is, the more vulnerabilities it will have inevitably in any walk of life, right? And you know what Apple has certainly done over recent years is made its platforms more complicated. It does more. There are more vulnerabilities, more interchanges. It's more feature rich, if you like, ever more feature rich. And people are finding the gaps in the security of that. But I think given all of that, is now not the time for Apple to change its approach on security and be much more open with security researchers to enable them to have access to the platform, and critically to enable security vendors to put premium software onto iPhones where people want to do that can keep them safer. Because right now, there are no options to do anything like that.
Yeah, there does seem to be a problem in terms of security researchers' ability to be able to report vulnerabilities as well, and those to actually be acknowledged by Apple. We have seen a few researchers recently who have reported. There is one guy who's reported an extra vulnerability that was fixed in 15.0.2, but Apple hasn't credited him with it yet, which is obviously something that he's quite annoyed about, and it does kind of open up that extra temptation for some people maybe to sell these vulnerabilities on the black market because they can.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm more worried about the vulnerabilities that we don't hear about than the ones that we do. Yeah, it's great. Apple's got a decent bug bounty program offering large amounts up to $1 million, I think it is, for certain zero-click vulnerabilities. That's great. What's not so great, as you said, is that some researchers are telling us that they're reporting things and they're just getting fobbed off in effect. But what worries me is that there are researchers out there who are finding 0 days, and there's no doubt they're finding 0 days, and serious critical vulnerabilities, and they're not going to Apple.